Hey, fabulous listeners. Bam! Get ready to spice up your day with another episode of Shut Up, Chanel. Today, we're diving into the world of drag royalty with none other than Alexis Mateo because the jig is not motherfucking up. Now, let me take you back to how our paths first crossed. Alexis and I met in 2010, over a decade ago, which is insane, on the set of Drag Race, and it feels like it's been forever since we've been able to sit down and catch up. Hailing from Puerto Rico, she burst onto the scene of season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race and continued to slay on RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars. From her fierce performances on stage to her larger-than-life personality, Alexis embodies everything drag royalty should be. With her infectious energy and undeniable charisma, she's a force to be reckoned with. And there's so much that I don't know about her that I'm hoping to uncover today. So grab your favorite beverage, strike a pose, and get ready for a fabulous catch up with Alexis Mateo, where every moment is a celebration of drag excellence. This is one episode of Shut Up Chanel you won't want to miss.
Shut up, Chanel. Shut up, Chanel. Chanel, shut up. Shut up, shut up. Shut up, Chanel. Shut up, Chanel. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, Chanel. Shut up, shut up, shut up, Chanel.
Yeah, you know what? I always refer to season 3 as the beginning of everything because I always feel like number 1 was a pilot and number 2 was a tryout to trying to figure out
The formula.
format. Season 3 was
The start of it
the
all.
recipe, bitch. It was until right now. I feel like sometimes I watch the casting specials and the Meet the Queens and things like that for every season, and I see the reference of season 3 cast in each one of the girls. It's always a pageant girl. It's always a comedy girl. It's always an Asian girl. It's always, like it's always somebody started doing drag that is a great performer, just like Chandler. And somebody has been in the business for a long time and it's a diva. Like I see the recipe from season 3 from that get-go, and it's like incredible to me because I can see reference of all of us in there. And season 3 was the first time that we met with Michelle Visage as a judge.
Why? And that's oh, this is so crazy. Like season 3 changed my whole life. Yeah, I totally forgot that was the reveal.
Yes.
Michelle Visage.
Michelle Visage, no more Santino. Michelle Visage.
No more Merle.
No more, like it was a lot of introduction.
There was
of
Santino
judges.
in the beginning. I think
Yeah.
Michelle replaced Merle.
Yeah, and it was who else was in there? Oh, we were the first one with
Billy
a commercial.
B. Oh, and Billy B makeup was there. They always had a makeup artist. They should have a makeup artist again.
Always. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was first commercial, like a professional commercial. You know what I mean? Like
the first Absolute commercial.
We have promos done. It was a theme for it. I mean, it was literally the beginning of the rest of the entire franchise, and it was
God,
crazy.
I'll never forget.
God,
I'll never forget the day because Hector was doing hair, and I just remember this loud because I had like the beginning of the season, the end of season 2. It was like I never heard any like loud women in the makeup chair, and then I was like in the crafty room, and I just heard this loud New Jersey laugh, and I was like, is that me? Like, who, like,
who is
and
that?
I remember being like, who the fuck is this? And she's like, who the fuck are you? And it was just like the start of me being obsessed with her. I love that so much. I totally forgot that. Right. And how crazy is it that you and Yara are still together in Vegas after all these years?
You know what? We don't see each other so much because we always so busy. But when we catch up, bitch, it's over. It's over. It's over. And with Yara, you always feel like we never stop talking for a little while, you know what I mean? Like she walks in, she doesn't say hello to me or nothing. She's like, girl, like she starts talking like just normal. But you know what? Honestly, I feel like I never said this, but I'm gonna say it here because it's you. I feel like All Stars 1 kind of ruined our friendship.
Okay. Why?
Yeah. when we did All Stars 1, the format, I don't think we were ready for the format or the elimination process. A lot of like social media was involved with Jada pressing the button and blaming who was the fault of what. And I think we kind of like took a break from each other, to concentrate in each other. So we didn't see anymore as a team or Alexis or things like that, because kind of like it became the Alexis and Jada show. Anytime the Alexis was booked somewhere, Jada was booked too. So it was kind of difficult for us to separate the friendship from the TV screen. So, and honestly, we're great friends, but we're not together 24 hours. You know what I mean? Like, so it was for me, that was a moment when
it felt like forced. It felt forced.
Yes, it felt forced. So we kind of like took back a second, breathe in, and kind of like focus in our own self. So when All Stars 5 was happening, I asked the producer if Jada was gonna be there, because honestly, I kind of wanted a chance without saying, oh, Alexis is carrying Jada or Jada is carrying Alexis. I kind of wanted like a fair chance. And
yeah, you wanted to shine on your own.
Yeah, and it was nothing. People was like, oh my God, I was so selfish, Alexis. And I was like, it is. But sometimes I have to do it because
I don't want to be selfish, because you don't want to resent her. You don't want to resent her anymore. I
just don't want to be. I don't want to find myself in the situation of the lip sync again. I think that one for me was mentally challenged, girl. Like letting Jada go was like worse, especially because I really wanted to go home that day. I was so tired. I was constipated, remember? I was so constipated. I just wanted to go home.
Imagine if I remember that. Imagine. I don't remember you were constipated.
Yes, I said it every day. I was like, we need a day off because I need to clean myself. It was very bad.
No, towards the end, it's like towards the end of it, it's like boot camp, and it's like towards the end of it, like I just remember like you're just run down, like you're just I felt like I was clammy all the time, like no sleep. By the end of like those 8 weeks or however long it was, I feel like it was only a month and a half, but you're working every day. That's why when I always say like, oh, I saved up that summer, like really it was just like a month and a half of my life, but it seems like a year because you're going there every day for like 17 hours.
Right. And this is the season when we took the break on filming, remember? So the month and a half became 2 months and a half for no fucking reason. I was like, why I'm back home after episode 3 to come back a month later for episode 4?
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Mess.
It was a lot, but it was so fucking fun. So
I loved it. I thought it was incredible. I think that even when I finished watching it now, I'm like, oh my God, it's so many iconic moments and things that happened that we didn't even plan it, that are like memorable and things like that. Honestly, the BAM, for example, that was never planned. I remember doing the challenge. We had 2 minutes each other to film.
I remember watching you. This was the day that I was like, oh, Alexis is funny, because I knew that you were this like fierce pageant queen that could like dance. But that was like the first day that I saw you start letting loose. That was the beginning of it.
Yeah, it was very that. And I was like,
take me to that moment.
Oh, girl. But it was 2 minutes to do the challenge. I nailed my challenge in the first minute, and then RuPaul said, well, you got 1 more minute, so do whatever you want to. So I was, fuck it, I'm gonna do everything. And I remember the pit crew keep throwing things at me, and I remember I cashed the freaking chorizo, because I used to call it that. The sausage, she's like, I grabbed it and I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? Like, I started saying random shit. And I remember like, okay, every time that I was feeling ugly in drag, because it happens a lot, I used to say in my head, BAM, it means beautiful Alexis Mateo. That's what the 3 letters mean. So I feel like it was like
I never knew that.
Yes, like it was a mental thing since I started doing drag it was like a push to feel secure. So I keep saying it, in my head to kind of pump myself up before going on stage. But I was already there. I did what I needed to do in the assignment, but I was a moment when I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling lost. So I started saying bam for no reason. And like, this was the first time I said it loud, not in my head. And I was like, well, RuPaul like it. I'm just gonna continue saying it.
Yeah, she started giving one of her like heckle laughs, and you were like, okay,
Yeah,
and then you just kept
I'm
going with it.
in, and I
I'm
keep saying
in.
shit. Like, they didn't make any sense. Sometimes I record, I'm like, what the fuck sickening no means? Like, did I actually asking myself if I'm sickening? No, like it was very bad. But
Or
of
the jig
course,
is up.
like,
The jig is
like
up. I think
the
that started with Raja, right? Because
uh-huh.
every time Raja would win a challenge, you would be like, the jig is up.
Yeah, we're
Crown
like,
her. Might as well
where
crown
we
her.
know where we're going. We know where we're going. Girl. It was like Roger could have done nothing wrong, and I was like, how did it? Like, I was looking at Roger, I was like, I know they're not saying her makeup is beautiful. That is, we were all like that. We were like,
No,
stop it.
Raja was that popular girl in high school that you like
Yeah,
that could do nothing wrong, and
right,
every guy still wanted to
right.
fuck her. It's the
Yes.
same vibe because that's what I got. I remember being on set and it really was like high school, and it was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, Raja's the cool girl. Like when like if
Yeah.
yep,
If
that
you're
was the
friends with
vibe.
Raja, you are the mean girl group with the popular girls, And if
Hmm.
you're not, you just a booger, Like, it was very that. It was high school
It was high
101.
school. It was high school
Um,
101.
yeah, it was very that, and it was. I honestly felt like it was funny because even though it looks like we were mad at each other and all that, I don't remember being angry with them backstage
No,
or
it was
nothing like.
camp.
And I
It
don't
was
think,
camp.
honestly,
I look at it as like camp. It was like,
yeah,
let's just
and
be as
Carmen used to call us
dramatic.
boogers, and things like that, and we never felt anger towards Carmen because we knew
No.
she was just playing. So it was very that girl. It was like, but it was an awesome story to me. Into today, we just call each other Heathers and boogers. So
I fucking love it. And Stacey Lynn Matthews, the honorary Heather.
bitch, bye. I remember after the reunion, I told Stacey, "How fucking dare you accepted that necklace?" I was very over it. I remember I had
How
pneumonia that day.
dare you?
They had to stop a lot for me.
Oh, I
With
totally
that.
forgot that you were sick at the
Yeah,
reunion.
yeah. Oh my god,
Oh
they had
my
to stop so many
God.
times,
We
but it
did
was a
so
mess.
much. And like that was like, and after the show, there was really like no other queens. Like there was like season 1 girls, season 2 girls, and you. I
Uh
remember
huh.
we all stayed so in touch with each other. You guys were the only people I talked to at that point in my life because
Right.
I had put myself in this world where I was like filming for months at a time with you guys. And so I stopped
Yeah.
hanging out with my LA party friends. After set,
Right.
I didn't want to go to the straight club anymore. Like I wanted to go to
Yeah, you
I was
discovered
around,
something new.
well, I was around drag all day. I was like, I
Right.
have nothing to talk about straight people with anymore. Like, I want to go to the gay bar, And then I'll never forget we had that Facebook group that we would all
Right.
talk in, and I was like the only girl in it.
Uh huh.
I remember feeling like the coolest girl in the world. We
But it
did
was
all
awesome because we used to go like every time there was something in LA, we
we
call
would
you.
all
Like, we were
yes.
like, see you there, girl. Like, is it the premiere or a red carpet or something? Chanel is the one. She was gonna pick us up. Like, it was very that. Like, it was literally the designated driver, Chanel.
Yes, I would pick you guys up. I would set like a meeting place because there was
I
nothing
love
like
that.
Logo was in New York. So like there was no
Right,
one in LA like planning stuff for everyone. And everyone was
right,
wanted, we didn't have social media to connect with each other on. So it was like we
right.
wanted to be around each other.
It was.
Oh my God, we did all the cruises together. And then so
Yeah, it was awesome.
and so then life was good.
Right,
2018, you broke up with your boyfriend and life got
right,
hard.
right. It was a weird after All Stars 1. It was weird because I kind of like stopped traveling. I met the guy. We got into a relationship real fast, like every gay person would do. Um,
Oh, you
um,
two like wore matching
yeah.
outfits. You were in
Oh,
love.
very that. And it was the first 2 years were fine. Then after that, it became very toxic.
Mm-hmm.
It was abusive.
Mm-hmm.
A push became a slap became a punch. It was moments where it was knives involved and things like that. So I kind of like always stay to myself because I didn't want to admit it, that I was in that situation. And I was also embarrassed about the choices I had made. Not that I regret them, I was just embarrassed about it. And then in 2018, finally I got out of the relationship. Of,
Congratulations. I
yeah,
feel like it's not easy when it gets to that toxic
I'm going
level.
to be honest, it was not my decision to get out of the relationship. He cheated with one of my friends, in my house.
What?
So I used that as an escape, as an excuse to escape the
That was it.
situation.
Mhm.
And I remember not knowing what was going to happen to my life because I came to a booking in Vegas and a bar offered me a contract, but I needed to move in like a matter of days to start. And I didn't want to because I was so comfortable in Florida. So I didn't know. So when I went back home, I remember the next day I got a meeting at work and they told us that our Hamburger Mayor's in Tampa was going to close the same exact day of the offer in Vegas was done. So I was like, I closed my eyes. I said, if you don't get this as a signal of life, I literally packed everything and hit it and moved to Vegas. And that was it. Like, I think Vegas was a fresh start
Mhm.
for me. And as soon as I got to Vegas, I literally had everything on a storage and bringing boxes to my place when I got the call for All Stars 5. So I was like, oh, it's meant to be. Sometimes you have to be in
Yeah.
it's the right moment, the right place. And
It
I went
all
for
started
it.
to
And
line up. I can't believe
yeah,
you're back with Coco Montrese in Vegas.
yeah, we're back with Coco Trees. But you know what? Drag Race Live was starting. And it was so many of the other girls here. So I was so excited about that too, because
Yeah.
I was not felt like I have something in common. Something about, this, something about doing Drag Race, anybody from the cast and the crew, you kind of build a special connection with that person because
Mhm.
it's a common bond in between all of you. And it's so many secrets and so many things that were done that were not the way that it were done or the edit this way and this like that. So you kind of create a bond, a special bond with somebody that is involved with Drag Race, period. And to see somebody like Jada was here, India was here, Chanel, Coco, like so many Drag Race girls were here, including Changela was at this time here. Banji was here on her live
Mhm.
RuPaul Drag Race live thing. So I didn't feel
It
out of
felt like
place.
home. You felt like you were in Florida,
Yeah.
but like a
So
fresh
it was,
start.
yeah, like a fresh place. Yeah, it was like a stop and rewind and start over, and it was cool, and I loved it. And Vegas opened so many doors for me, and one of my biggest dreams in life was to be a house owner. So to become a house owner last year here in Vegas, I was like, yes, I love this. This is the right place. I was very that. So yeah,
Oh.
incredible, but super, super exciting. And okay, people don't believe this, but shit like this, like being a house owner in the United States doesn't happen to a Puerto Rican boy. Just period. We struggle so much, especially if your family is not in the United States. Because sometimes, when you're a Latino immigrant or something like that, your family's already here. So they're established, you grow up established. But for me, wasn't.
No, this
And
is the American dream.
yeah,
What
and for
you're
me, switching Spanish to English at 22 was horrible, but necessary. Switching my traditions and my family and leaving my home and everything behind was hard. It still is. Like I always tell my mom, this was the hardest thing ever, and my mom was like, "You are literally the only one in the family that we're proud of." Like my mom always said, "You're a celebrity. You have been in Hollywood. You're the only one that have been in Hollywood. You're the only one that has a house. You're the only one that has a Mercedes Benz." She's so proud of all the shit. I'm like, yes,
Oh.
but I still don't see those things as part of my success because I still remember how hard it was. You know what I mean? It's just weird, but yeah. But Vegas was a fresh start, and I loved it. Yeah, every moment of it. Yeah,
Oh,
sister,
I'm
you like
so
what?
proud of you. How proud is your mom of you now? And I think that that's so
Yeah.
sweet. I think it is when you've had to struggle and start from the bottom, like you always remember the bottom. So you forget where you are. Like I do the same thing with my family. My mom's like, I'm like, when I'm like hard on myself for not like living life like normal cis 37-year-old woman lives. She's like, Chanel, like you've done so much more than like most people ever will achieve. And like, and it's really important to be proud of yourself.
Honestly, like with you, like, okay, this shit don't happen to everybody. Your circle of drag queens friends are not super mega stars in the world. Like that is something that you had nothing in common with any other normal girl. Like that's just you. Your experience, the way you see fashion, because I know, like I remember us backstage telling you, girl, wear that dress this way, or like, girl, you need to do your hair like this. Like all
no,
that
you were my
stuff.
drag mothers. You really shaped me into the woman I am today.
And I always think about it like, I'm like, if you were a real girl, you don't have this. Like, so you're not normal for us. You're not normal. We consider you literally another one of the girls. Sometimes we're like, we laugh about it. We're like, oh, we forgot that Chanel is a girl.
Yeah.
We're like, we forgot that you're a real girl. They're like, especially when it's like time to pee and we all can get up and just pee somewhere in bushes, and you're like, I cannot do that. But like
for a while, I forgot I wasn't a drag queen. That's for goddamn sure.
But sometimes we forget, like
we forget where we came from. We forget, all we do is remember where we came from. We forget where we're at now.
Yeah, my mom tells me all the time, you're not normal. Like sometimes I go like, I would love to date again. I would love to have a boyfriend. And my mom was like, you're not normal. It's going to be difficult for you. Not only you are older, you're successful. It could be intimidating for boys, but you also on the spotlight. Not everybody likes that. She goes over and over their things with me, and I go like, okay, I'm gonna stay single, fuck it. But she always remind me, like, because she comes and visit me sometimes in Vegas. One time she came here.
Of that.
Banji came over. So many of the Drag Race girls were here. They met my mom and everything. They hung out with my mom. Todrick Hall was around, so he met my, like everybody. And then I came back, and it was a normal night. But my mom was like, "Oh my God, Todrick Hall!" Like she was like, and so I don't realize those things, like okay,
yeah, we
so
forgot.
My normal life is not natural.
No, and like younger Alexis in Puerto Rico would be so proud. Like how you have the BAM to remind yourself. And I think that that's so beautiful that I never knew what BAM stood for. And that it's a way to control your intrusive thoughts, because I do that now. Every time that other voice comes in now, because it happens every day, multiple times a day. I like try to check her. Like, no, we're not doing that narrative anymore. Like I'll like talk like she's in the room, because like I'm trying to like teach that other voice. Like you can't. You have to do it. You have to talk to your inner self. But it's also important for us to talk to that little version of ourselves that would be so proud of how far we've come.
Oh my God, yeah. Every time now that they have those finale lives and stuff like that, I remember after, I think it was like what, season 6 or 8 or something like that, they started bringing the picture of you when you were little and you needed to talk to it. I was like, oh my God, thank God they didn't do this to mine. Because I would have, first of all, would have cried the entire time, and probably will speak to the little boy in Spanish the entire time, because I wanted him to understand exactly what I was feeling. But it was very that, and I think it was like, I cry every time that they do it. I cry with everybody. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
It's a therapy technique for sure. Like I put up like in my get ready mirror, I have like a baby picture of myself, because that's the mirror where like I feel like the inner critic comes in, because that's where you're like staring yourself doing your makeup. So it just like reminds me, because every time I want to talk shit to myself, I'm like, that's also you're talking shit to that little girl, and that little girl would never doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, because we were not insecure back then, girl. When we were little, we were everything.
It's before the trauma,
So good, and it's important. You know what? Like also Latino people, we because we use "I love you so much" loosely in America. That when I remember back in the day and until today, for Latinos, it's so difficult to say "te amo." that is I love you, but it's like we don't say that ever. Some people die in the Latino culture without saying I love you. And I feel like it's so difficult. So for me, like I'm starting to say I love you in Spanish, like to my
Oh,
mom
God.
and to myself in the mirror and things like that, because it's so difficult. I don't know why. It's so scary to say that to somebody in Spanish. Like I say to all my sisters, "Hey, girl, I love you. See you tomorrow." Like I said in English.
But
It doesn't.
te amo
It's
gets
the
you.
same, but yeah, it doesn't mean the same to me. It's not even that powerful either. Like it's just crazy to me, and I always remind everybody about that. I'm like, girl, that is. I don't know why we go through this because when we're little, we say that to everybody. Then you grow up, and then you stop. Yeah, it's crazy to me, but it's a Latino thing, and I have to do it to continue being, fresh. Especially because, my mom. Okay, so my mom separated my dad when I was 6.
Okay.
Um, Religion and bullshit happened. My dad was Pentecostal, my mom was Catholic, so
Oh,
it was a lot
fuck.
of it was
That's
a
a
lot of
lot.
division. My dad became a preacher. They separated and things like that. I stayed with my mom. My mom was a working class person because she has to be the dad now. My sister was sent to who knows where because she was a lesbian. So remember spending a lot of time alone from my 6th birthday to my 15th birthday. I was always alone. And the only times that I was with somebody was with my mom at night. And she used to help me, teach me how to sew or teach me how to decorate something. It things that she used to do because she used to work in a fabric store, of course. So
I mean,
everything
your
that
mom
she,
just keeps getting better and better.
yeah, she literally got a job in a fabric store and she used to bring like craft and to do for her job the next day, but I used to help her.
Mhm.
Um, and she started helping me with teaching me hair. So every time that she was doing a wedding or something, I was doing hair for the bridesmaids, or I was helping with something in that area because of my mom. So now, okay, let me tell you, now we're suffering with dementia.
Your
My
mom?
mom, yeah, my mom is advanced in the situation. So sometimes I think it's funny because I have a lot of patience. My sister doesn't, but if she forgets my name or who I am or things like that, I
Mhm.
got a lot of patience on it. And if she says something crazy, I follow. I
You
keep
go
telling
with
the story.
it.
Oh my god, this is awesome!
I
Like the
love
other day,
that.
she didn't know who my sister was, but my sister was cooking breakfast, and she was like, "Who's that downstairs?" I was like, where? Like I was like very acting,
You're
and
into it?
it's improv with my mom, baby. It's improv classes,
I love
and she's like,
that.
it's that girl downstairs talking to a lot of men. I was like, and it was my sister talking on the speakerphone. That was it. But it was just the funniest thing. And sometimes she catch up. I continue talking, and she was like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, the lady downstairs, and she's like, "That's your sister, dumbass." Like she cashed up, but like we're suffering with that. But
Is she living with you yet?
no, she's still in Puerto Rico. But she travels a lot with my sister. My sister bring her back and forth. Oh, I go there.
So your sister's with her
Yes,
in
my
Puerto
sister's
Rico. Oh, that's
24.
good.
Yeah,
That's
and
a lot. That's a caretaking's a lot, but that is so
yes,
it's so
yeah.
beautiful that you're able to find the patience in
Yeah,
it.
but you know why? Like those are important moments in my life, and I always I get depressed sometimes and cry because I was like, oh my god, the best moments with my mom, she's forgetting them. You know what I mean? But then I had to realize it's time for me to keep them because it was for me. Those
Keep them.
moments
And
were for me.
this is a new
Um,
chapter now. This is you
so
being there for her at
yeah,
the end of her
yeah,
life.
and it is crazy. So we have been dealing with that. But never forget about all the things she always said. And she cash out quickly. She still thinks sometimes I'm in Orlando, but I'm like, no, mom, I'm in Vegas now, remember? But it's very that. But yeah, last it was a lot of things that I never thought I was gonna do in my life, like be a headliner in Las Vegas. So in November for Thanksgiving, she came to visit me and she got to see me perform at Drag Race Live. It was a big deal for her. I even hired a photographer
Oh no,
to take
these
all
are
the
moments.
memories.
No,
Like I
these
was
are
like, I
moments.
want it.
These are
So yeah,
moments that you want to remember
yeah,
and to just remember the like the way you're looking at it is so positive because it's
right.
like I took care of my dad as he was dying of cancer almost 2 years ago, and I just kept telling myself, like, stay present, like, stop thinking about the
Right.
future, stop thinking about the past, like, all you have are
Right.
these moments right now, and when you look back on it, you're going to know that you just enjoyed every moment that you got with him, you know.
Right. I think it has
Because you
to
could
be
go
a
to a dark
point.
place. You can go to it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my God.
easy. It's
Easy.
easy to go to a
And you
dark
can
place.
actually get so angry with life, period. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I actually think that it's not, every time I think I get sad or something, I always remind myself, this is a natural stage
This is
in
life.
anybody's life,
This is
you
life.
know?
Our parents raise
Um,
us, and then a lot of times we have to raise them at the end, you know?
yeah, exactly. It's literally like they come back to be a little person, a little baby. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's natural. Every time I look at it, I'm like, it's natural. The other day, we were laughing because my mom put hairspray in her back. Let's not say where. And we were like, why would you do that? Like, it's funny. But I laugh about it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. I tell my sister, I can't wait till you are this crazy forgetting person. I like she hates it. But we joke about it and everything. It's a serious situation, but you have to think it's natural and
And
it's nothing you can
you
do.
have to find the beauty in it. And it's like
Yes,
such a dark thing to say, but I kept telling myself that, like, find the beauty in these moments rather than look at them as sad, because there were so many moments where I could have just crumbled and been like, this is too much for me, like, I don't want to be around it, or but I just, like, kept telling myself, like, this is beautiful, this is beautiful,
right,
beautiful, bam. I just
right.
had to keep
Like a
bamming
bam.
myself
Yeah,
and tell myself, like, this is nothing's forever. The only constant, like,
right,
you know what I mean? Like, these are the only moments I have. And even if,
right,
like, they're the shittiest, like, it's not forever. Like, even this moment's fleeting, and I
right.
even try to do that now whenever I cry over something, or like, it's just a reminder of how much we love them. You know what I
That is
mean?
crazy. And you know what the craziest part of all this is that my mom sees me and sometimes she forget I'm her son or my name or something.
So crazy.
Um, and she forgot that I got a toupee on, girl. She always think that I had this much hair. She's
What?
like, "Oh my God, you
That's
have
not
so
your
much hair."
hair?
And then, no, girl, I was poetic. And then, like, one funny thing about it is that she had never forget who I am in drag. That is the weirdest thing.
Wow. That's
In
so
drag,
beautiful.
she knows she's Mama Mateo. She knows who I am. Like, she knows everything. Like, she knows the show. She knows the placements. She knows everybody. She knows Jada by name. She knows Manila. She knows Changela. Like, she remembered all that. She doesn't remember a lot of our birthdays and shit. I think it's on purpose.
Yeah, I thought
But
of stuff she didn't want to remember.
I was like, Mom, you don't remember today was my birthday, but you remember I was in season 3 of Drag Race? Like, nobody remembers that. I was like, that's crazy to me. But
Oh,
it's very
so
that. So
beautiful.
I think that, like, you always remind me that, like, I think that drag did such a big impact on her life that it's
Mhm.
difficult for her to erase that part. So yeah, it's interesting, very interesting. I love it.
We're getting older, man. Like, when
Yes.
we
Well,
first
you, not
met.
me. I'm getting younger, As
Come
long
on.
as it's plastic surgery, we
I
will be always younger.
I think we both look younger
Yes,
than
for
when we
real.
first met. We
Then when
really
we
do.
started for real, that is for sure. Yeah. Oh my God, that is the best.
So
That is that.
what's next for you? So you're in this new chapter of your life. You're taking care of your mom. You're in
Right.
Vegas. You're single. What's next for Alexis Mateo?
Um, I want to have a lot of snacks.
You want to have a lot of sex? Me
I
too,
want
baby.
to.
Me too.
I honestly, if you're watching this, everybody, not wait until you're older to explore sex. Sex is beautiful. Sex is amazing. Have it. And relationships are great, but bitch, have sex because then you're gonna get to an age where everything is more difficult. So have it now. But honestly, I grew up thinking that sex was such a bad thing. Then combining the sex bad is bad with being gay is horrible, you're going to hell situation. I kind of like restricted myself from that. And I think it was like, it's a beautiful thing to just enjoy yourself and explore sex. So I am going to enjoy sex as much as I can. Then I'm in Vegas. I'm
No
actually
shame. No fucking shame.
right.
There's shame, and I find it as like being a woman, there's such a stigma.
Yes,
And I
yes.
never held myself back. The second guys started wanting it, I started giving it. And
Yes,
and I
yes.
always felt this, and I remember being a sexual little girl. Like I just always been horny. I've always been horny, like always. Like from my first memories, I remember being horny. And so like, but there's always this stigma around like women and sex. And then
Right.
you have sex with like guys and they love to slut shame. I just dealt with a situation recently where like I felt slut shamed at 37 fucking years old for having sex
independent women.
independent, having sex with two guy friends years apart from each other. And like one of the guys tried to shame me on it. Like, well, you should have thought about that before. I shouldn't have thought about anything. Like I'm allowed to have sex with
the only mistake you
did
did was to not have them together. That was the only mistake. Let's just get clear on that.
Or having sex with like a loser who thought that they could shame me for liking sex. You know what I mean? Yes, this is my PSA for everyone to be safe. But like women, don't ever shame yourself for having sex. And gay men, stop shaming yourself for loving sex if you are. I mean, most of my guy friends don't shame themselves, but I guess that's something that you dealt with.
But you also have to be so comfortable with yourself. Being gay, you have to, because, you know, it's not just being gay. Now we have separation in our own gay community between the boys. Now if you are a bear, if you're a wolf, if you're a panda, if you're like, it's so many animals. I don't even know why I have to be an animal. Like, honestly, I didn't know it was that complicated. Like, I mean, what is a bear means that I have to grow hair in the back of my, I don't know, because I'm not, you know, I'm not hairy and I'm not that big, but I'm not that skinny. Like, I don't know. It's just too complicated. But it's
very complicated. And if you're listening to this and want to have sex with Alexis Mateo, slide into the DM. Slide into the DM.
It's going to happen. And it's going to be
and like she lives in Vegas. I mean, you'll get tickets honestly, to the show.
Like, honestly, Vegas has teach me so much about my sexuality.
Oh, good.
Literally the West Coast. When I moved here, I realized East Coast and Florida, especially Florida, are so far behind from the real world.
It's
the
fucking
real
Florida,
progress.
yeah.
Like I have
repression.
The entire world, like London, UK, Japan, everywhere I go, Brazil, everybody's so open, so sexual, so free to love who they are. No labels. Like it's so weird. And then I moved to Las Vegas, and then I realized, okay, so everything that I thought it was bad, it was okay to me. You know, some of my best friends were escorts, you know, so I always thought that was like prostitution. Then I saw it as a job. Then I really understand where they're coming from. Like it's so many open-minded moments when I got one of my lesbian friends the other day was attracted to a guy, and like I was like, okay, so it's okay. It's okay to be attracted to the guy.
Just go do it. Like who cares?
It's so many things. And then I realized that it's because the world is changing on the new generation, like between the pronouns that we all make fun of because we have so many now. But the new generation is actually growing up in a world where I feel like I wish I would have grown up. You know, like
it's all fluid, baby. It's very fluid.
Like I remember how scared I was to feel gay on my prom. And now I see so many of these kids come to my house and like, oh my God, I want a dress to go to my prom. Can you make it for me? Like, can you do my makeup? Like, I was like, oh my God, are they going to allow you in school? Because I still have, you know, like those questions are like, oh yeah, we're good. And it's like,
it was just so very free. Black and white. It was black and white when we grew up. And it was like, you were either, and if you were gay, and that's why like I never got to explore my sexuality early on because I knew I wasn't a lesbian because I liked
Right.
guys. Bisexuality was like a term that like no one was really bi when I was in high school. Like you were gay or you
Right.
weren't. And then there was this thing like I knew I wanted to like be in a relationship with guys, but like I was still attracted to like women too. So it was just like confusing
Right.
and there was no terminology for it. I didn't know what the word fluid
Right.
fucking meant, that like, you know, that you could be more than one thing. Until 2 years ago, my life was very black and white. And I think that's what
Yeah.
you're saying is like
Yeah.
the veil kind of got lifted and it's like,
Yeah. I was like, wow, this is awesome. It's
I love
awesome.
it. Oh my
Like I
God.
was like, because everything that I grew up thinking that it was bad is normal.
It's
But
normal.
you know, also, this is when the case of visibility is so important. You know what I mean? Because if
Mm-hmm.
it happens to me, if I have opened so many, bridges in my adult life,
Mm-hmm.
imagine what visibility is going to do for so many younger people. And this is why I come back to do seasons of Drag Race. This is why I want people to see, you know, if as a Latino little boy like me, wish a 5 when I realized that something was not normal on me. I could have turned on the TV and see somebody look like me, or at least be familiar with what the feelings I was feeling. I probably would have actually grow up more confident, and probably
Mm-hmm.
the world would have been so incredible to me because I thought I was a genius when I was little. I think I kind of restricted myself growing up,
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be an incredible future just because of that. I, I mean, DragCon, for example, we meet so many young generation of queerness people that are just amazing, and so many allies for our community. Like when a
Which is
parent takes,
insane because I
yes,
like it used to be like it just didn't used to be like that. I used to feel like on
yes,
those Alan Chuck cruises, it was like me and Michelle Visage were the only women. Parents were
right,
there. It was like parents dropped their kids off, but like parents were
right,
there. Allyship was very different back then.
right,
It's been amazing to see how the world
right,
has changed since season 3 and since we met
right,
each other. It's
right.
wild.
It is crazy. Honestly, when I went to film Drag Race 3, I was like, I'm gonna do this in this small TV channel and nobody will find out. And then I remember they were announcing to us that it was going to air on MTV. Remember? It was like the first time it was gonna air at 2 a.m. or something like that.
Didn't you get
And I was
scared?
like,
You got
I was,
scared.
yeah, I was like, oh my God, like nothing is gonna be the same. I'm gonna have to tell my mom. My mom kind of like was difficult understanding drag and being a transsexual. Like
Mm-hmm.
she was
Oh,
so ready for me.
everyone
Yeah.
was my girlfriends that growing up in San Diego, they were like, so these are they guys you hang out with? Are what do they dress like? They didn't understand the art form
Right.
of it. They didn't understand like it was and no
Yeah.
one understood anything. No one even understood the terminology. And now 50-year-old white women are saying spill the tea on network television. And it's just mind
It's a
boggling to
culture
me.
shock. It's a culture shock for everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
drag has been here for the longest. It has
For the
always been
longest. Mm-hmm.
underground. But it's just so crazy right now that everything is so exposed. Like I remember telling my mom about being a drag queen, and then my mom called me like 3 days later, and she's like, "Okay, so now I understand. You're not gonna be a girl, but you're gonna travel all the time in women clothing." I'm like, no, where do you learn this? She was like, I just watched To Want Food. And she was
That's
like,
my
they
favorite.
drive around the country in drag. I was like, no, mom. I said, okay, no more movies reference. Okay. It's a comedy. I
That
never
is,
thought about it that way. You know what I mean? Because
that
in the
is,
beginning,
yeah,
they
no,
get in
that's,
drag, they're shaving, they get in drag. But
and the
then
pageant, and then there's the
they stay in
pageant.
drag the entire movie. You know what I mean? So
I
I
bring
was
that
like,
up all the
okay.
time. I bring that up all the time. Like Tuong Fu, it was like they didn't have it figured out yet because like those women would be trans if the
Right,
story was real. You know what I
right,
mean? Like
right.
you
And
don't
I'm
have to
like,
be in drag all the time.
I was like, no, mom. Yeah, you will learn later. Let's just relax. I'm not gonna become a woman. I'm not gonna show up to the family picnic, in full drag and a hat and a convertible. It's not gonna happen.
Here to
So,
save the town. You're here to the
to do
town.
makeovers and the family reunion. I'm not doing
The strawberry social.
but yeah, but it's that back in the day that was the only thing that my mom could have find
Well, yeah, there was no
drag
other
related.
references. It was Tu Wong
Drag
Fu,
related.
baby, or like Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. But I don't know if they were
Right.
show. You know, I was
Right.
like, you had to track
The
that down.
birdcage.
The
birdcage was like,
birdcage.
it's just weird. It was like weird stories. It probably were true stories, but
Well, and
not my
they
story.
were progressive for the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
like
of course.
shout out to like, yeah, to all of those
Everybody.
movies.
Yeah, because actually they were the introduction
Mm-hmm.
to the world. Yes, of course. Yeah, it's awesome. And yeah, it was a very important detail with my mom. It was like she was always scared of that. But yeah, it's just so crazy now that like everything is so free and so open. And like when I moved to Vegas, we went to we have Planet 13 here. It's like a giant mall of weed. They have weed places, bakery, restaurants, everything is weed. So I was like, this shit would have never happened in my time.
No,
You know, like weed
all
was
of
drugs
it.
and drugs was bad. That was it.
Like, yeah, the way we grew up and like just everything, like so much has changed in the past 14 years.
Yes.
And we were kind of like at the brink of it and didn't even realize that we were like being a part of history until now
Right.
when we like reflect back on it.
In the straight community as well. Let me tell you how much this shit. I remember when I was 12, reggaeton came out from the underground of Puerto Rico, and it was a DJ called DJ Playero and a DJ D Noise, and they used
Reggaeton,
to put
Sean
yeah,
Paul, Sean Paul.
baby. It was cassette tapes, and they used to sell them, you know, like drugs. Like nobody could see you selling this because it was illegal, because it was explicit lyrics on it, and back in the day that was not allowed. So
Isn't that
we used to
crazy how
take,
censored we were?
yes,
I remember when,
remember
yeah.
that. Yeah, I remember I remember saving $5 to go and buy the Playero tape and listening to it. And I remember how the police used to stop you if you were listening to it in the car and confiscate it, give you a ticket, or you get suspended in school and things like that. It was really, really, really bad. And then last year, I turned on the TV and there is Bad Bunny winning the Grammy for something that it was illegal in my time. And not only he won a Grammy, he won the regular Grammy. He was not even in the Latin Grammy. You know what I mean? Like this shit had changed so much since I was hiding in my closet with my Walkman, listening to Playero. Like it was like crazy. I was like, okay, so now I can actually sing a song about fucking a girl and a boy, doing a lot of drugs, and win a Grammy. Life is crazy. It's freaking crazy. But yeah, it is happening. I mean, look at Cardi B, look at Nicki Minaj, look at how, like, I remember if you were a woman and you were a sexual dancer, pole dancer or something, you were a whore. Period.
Oh, period.
You were a whore, you were ashamed, your family didn't like you, blah, blah, blah. Now, hey, music videos, the song about how women have the power to sell her pussy. You know,
it's like taking the power back. It's like taking the power back, and it's so crazy.
And I think that's what I'm going through my life when I said I would love to have more sex. I would like to express myself more. I would like to have more relationships, you know. Like I want a lot more, you know. So it's very that. It's very that. So yeah.
Wow.
Super good things. But I also now that I'm here in Vegas and I'm in Piranha nightclub as a cast member, opening shows.
I have to come visit you guys.
I love it.
I have a lot of memories.
Anytime you come, I'm here. I'm actually, because I always wanted to produce shows. I am producing shows in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico now.
I
and
love
a theater,
Puerto Vallarta.
And that theater called Act 2 PB. I have my own show there called Fantastic. It's the story of my life. I have dancers and everything. It's really, really cool. But I also producing the Private now with Mariah Valenciaga, Sugar Kane, Jessica Wilde. Like, it's going to be a super fun show. The last 2 weeks of May, they are in Puerto Vallarta. I have a very good offer in a very incredible show that is about to open here in Vegas. It's going to be a crazy thing when I reveal this because I am the main character of the entire production. It's gonna be an awesome year.
Oh my
Awesome
God.
year.
I'm so
And of
proud of
course,
you.
we are at the Drag Race on Talk Live Las Vegas review on Wall
Mhm.
Present starting on the 17th of April. So I'm excited. Lots of things happening, lots of
Mhm.
good shit. Let's just put it like shit. Good shit, girl. So I'm excited. Yeah. Moving on.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. And we've
Right?
been catching up for over 2 hours. Like, this is
Right.
wild.
Because I talk a lot of shit. Yeah.
I love it. No, we could keep going. We could keep going, but I have to pee really bad.
There's
Is
gonna
there
be a second part of this somewhere around
Yeah,
this
no, I fucking love you so much. It was so great to catch up with you. I think we covered
time.
so much good stuff that like old Drag Race fans are gonna love, new Drag Race fans are gonna love. I
Right.
think we touched on stuff that like is really relatable to people, like our
Yeah.
parents getting older and sex
Yes.
and the good old days of drag.
love it.
You plugged everything you have coming up. I love you
Yes.
so much. I like to end each episode with you telling me to shut the fuck up. So
Janelle, I love you. You look gorgeous, but girl, shut the fuck up. Shut up, Chanel. I love it.
I love
I'm
you
excited.
so much. I'm gonna
I
come
can't
visit
wait to
you.
see you. Yes,
I'm gonna come
please.
visit you in Vegas. If you ever come to LA before I get to Vegas, make sure you call
Yes.
me and
Hey, hello.
we'll plan a ladies to lunch.
Yes. That turns into ladies at midnight, drunk.
At Mickey's.
Very that. Especially if we run with Mariah.
Is
But you know.
Mariah.
Things
That's
you don't
crazy.
do. If you don't want to get wasted in LA, do not hang out with Mariah or Mayhem.
Oh my
I
God.
learned my lesson.
I need to call, I need Mariah on the podcast. I haven't had her yet.
Yes, have her.
I'm calling her. Yeah, I'm calling her as soon as we get off of here.
I love you, Chanel.
I love you so much. Have such a good day. And I will text you after this to tell you how much I love you again.
Bye.
Bye.